All right, the sum of three consecutive integers. Things we want to remember. The word sum means we're going to add. Be prepared that this will be a word. Sometimes it will be a number. Consecutive means in a row. Integers just means numbers. And is, in whole numbers, is a negative 144. So I need to set up my variables. Remember, if we make that list, it's going to be x, x plus 1, x plus 2, x plus 3, and so on, depending on how many consecutive integers we need. We need 3. So our variable setup is going to be the first one, which is x, and then we're going to have x plus 1, and then x plus 2. Reminder, if our first number was 3, 3 plus 1 is 4, 3 plus 2 is 5. So that gives me 3, 4, 5, which is 3 consecutive integers. Now we're going to set this up to solve for the actual integers. So x plus 1, and x plus 2 are the 3 we're using. It did say sum, so we're going to add the 3 together. And don't forget the word is means equals, so we're going to put an equal mark, and it says us a negative 144. Now we're going to combine like terms, simply solve. So using your old school combining like terms and solving equations, we have 3x. And then easy enough, we're going to now solve and combine our like terms, our constants. So that's going to give me plus 3. And that equals a negative 144. Now from here, we're going to use our skills for solving for equations. So we're going to box in our stinky kid. Don't forget our great divide. We have plus 3 on the outside. The inverse of addition, remember, is subtraction. So we're going to subtract 3. And we're using the inverse because it's crossing the great divide. And we need to get 3x by itself so we can work towards getting x by itself completely. This is going to give us, we owe 144. And then we owe 3 more. So that's going to give us a negative 148. Now from here, we have 3x. Remember, 3x is the same as 3 times x. So the inverse of multiplication is going to be division. So we're going to divide both sides by 3. And we're going to end up with x equals a negative 49. Because a negative and a positive in division is going to give us a negative back out. So x equals a negative 49. If you are the kind who is good for making lists on the side, that means this is going to be 49, negative. Be careful. These are negative numbers. So then I want to think negative 49 plus 1. I owe you 49, but I paid you 1, means I'm going to owe you 48. If I owed you 49 and I paid you 2, I'm going to owe you 47. It's very quick that a lot of students, especially, just aren't paying attention to the negative. You say negative 49, negative 50, negative 51. If you add those 3 together, they will also not give you that negative 144 like it's supposed to. So if you're the kind to check, you'll catch it. But we're not all the kind that checks. So our integers are going to be negative 49, negative 48, and negative 47. Identify the largest integers. This is that trick question because, again, these are negative numbers. So what is the largest integer from these 3? With negatives, remember, they get bigger as we move to the right, as we travel closer to 0. The less debt, as you always hear me say, this means I owe you 49, I owe you $48, I owe you 47. Ideally, we want to owe you the least. So that's going to be our largest or our best number. So we're going to owe you 47 is the largest of those 3 integers. So again, big call out. Make sure when you solve, if you get a negative, that you stop and think that you're adding a positive 1, you're adding a positive 2 to get your next 2 numbers. And remember, the smaller 47 versus 48 versus 49 is the larger negative number because it's working towards the positive. So you're getting closer to breaking even. All right, so number 2. Again, the sum of 3. So again, we're going to add 3 consecutive odd integers is, which is going to be equal to 75. Odd. This is the biggest misconception. So this is a call out. You want to read these carefully and look for the word odd, even, or the lack thereof of both. If there's neither, we're going to use the same variable setup as before. But remember, odd numbers are going to be 1, 3, 5, 7. So it's skipping every other number, just like even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8. So if this is 5, how do I get to 7? I add 2. If this is 5, how do I get to 9? I add 4. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, because it's skipping every other number. So your variable setup changes, but it is the same for even or odd when we're setting up our numbers here. It is different than consecutive on our, like on the back of this sheet, or with your x plus 1, x plus 2. Okay, so again, we're going to set it up, x plus 2, because it's odd, x plus 4. It said is, so that's going to be equal to. It said sum, so we're going to add all these together, and they're going to be equal to a positive 75. Combine your like terms. So we're going to combine our variables, and we have 3x again. And then we're going to combine our constants. Constants, remember, vocabulary-wise, is a number without a variable. So 4 and 2 is going to give me plus 6. And then we're going to be equal to 75. Now we're rock and rolling with our two-step equations. We're going to solve for x again. So we have 3x, line of great divide. There's a positive 6. So the inverse of addition is subtraction. Again, you're using the inverse because you're trying to get this side to go away. And then we end up with 3x equals, I have $75 and I spend 6, means I'm going to have $69. 3x is multiplication, so the inverse again is going to be division by 3, and 69 divided by 3 is going to give me 23. So now I have my variable, my x is going to be 23. So again, if you're good at making your list, that means x equals 23. What's 23 plus 2? 25. What's 23 plus 4? 27. Stop and check yourself just in case. There's lots of ways to catch your mistakes. Make sure these numbers are odd. 23 is odd. And if we forgot, odd means it's not divisible by 2. So I can't split it between just me and you evenly. So 23 is odd, 25 is odd, and 27 is odd. So that's beautiful. That's our list of our numbers, 23, 25, 27. State the sum, which again, remember, is going to be addition of the largest and the smallest. In this case, the largest is 27, because $27 in our pocket is better than $23 in our pocket. And the smallest is going to be 23, because again, if we're talking money, that's the worst case scenario of the three choices. So the sum of the largest and smallest. So we're going to do 23 plus 27, and we're going to add those together, and we're going to get 50. So the answer to B would be 50. All right, guys, study up. You're going to see this on your EOC for sure.